Hi Mum, you do everything for everyone else. Let me help you make your life easier. Quick, short information to make you empowered and remind you why you are so important. Because if you don't know what's on the menu, how can you choose what's right for you? Hi, I'm Alina, Director of my private practice Supportive Therapy, an everyday Aussie mum trying not to lose my biscuits and my kids. As a mental health professional, I'm here to share my secrets so no other mother feels alone or powerless. Knowledge is power, and I want you to be powerful. Think of it like I'm your mindset coach through all of this. Everything is backed by science and psychology. I believe in you, and I want you to be the best version of yourself. To be happy and feel in control, you need to be mentally strong. Hello everyone, my name's Alina from Supportive Therapy, and today on Representing Mentally Strong Mums, we're going to be understanding how to take back control during uncertain times. Control and predictability are so important to humans because we need to know that everything's going to be fine and safe, and I feel like if I'm able to make good choices, then I can feel like I'm in control of my world. And sometimes when we feel completely out of control internally, I need to control everything externally. And so it's really difficult then. It's like internal chaos. And then if I'm going home and then the house is chaos because of the kids, they don't clean up after themselves. Obviously, if you have kids, your house is probably never going to be clean ever again. So that's really difficult because if your body and your mind and your brain is chaos and you're looking around you and is mess, disaster, everything everywhere, it's this additional chaos that can get us then really quite overstimulated, and that's when we can get upset, we can go off the handle, we're completely dysregulated. So this is me helping you understand about control and predictability is a really good way of making ourselves feel safe. So if you think about it, you know where they say that everything happens in threes? Well, it doesn't. It's our ways, our brain's way of actually wanting to make a predictability and control over situations so I can prepare for what's coming next. You know, even those times where you type in on something on Google Maps and you go this way all the time, but it's telling you a different route and you're like, I'm not going to listen to you. You can't tell me what to do, right? So then you go the way that you wanted to go, and then you realise there's been a huge accident or something's happened and it's blown everything out and now you're going to be late. I like predictability and control. Our brains like to guess what's going to happen next. So during uncertain times, when everything is out of control, how to give your brain and yourself back that illusion of control that makes yourself feel safe within yourself. It's very important for me to feel like I am safe. I know what's about to happen. I feel that if unpredictable events happen, then I'm actually able to handle them. And when I'm able to do that, it gives me self-worth and self-esteem and pride because I can have my own back and I'm able to handle anything. But if I don't do that, and I feel like it's a constant whack-a-mole game, that there's so many things coming up and I can't hold them all back, it's absolute internal chaos. So during uncertain times, and if you think of it, the best example was through the pandemic. Uncertainty can also be through separations or divorce, as well as the loss of a job. It can also be if there's chronic illness or sickness, and sometimes it can also be with our children. So how can we mentally, emotionally, and physiologically take control during these uncertain times so we can give me the illusion of control I need to feel safe within my body, as well as then building the resilience that I know I'm able to handle everything that gets thrown at me. Resilience is huge. So it's all these little tricks and tactics that I'm helping you understand to get a better sense of who you are and what you need to feel safe to build you up so you're rock solid. So when we do feel like things are out of control, it can feel overwhelming, it can lead to shutting down as a protective measure. We can also be really motivated by fear, and sometimes we don't know that we're motivated by fear. It can be a secondary emotion. So alternatively, it feels like when our OCD, our obsessive compulsive tendencies, or perfectionism have gotten really strong, to try and control all of our immediate surroundings. So when we feel we are no longer a part of the decision-making process in our own lives, how do we take back control? So when a person feels a lack of control over a situation, it can have significant psychological effects. It can lead to feelings of helplessness, anxiety, stress, and it can even contribute to the development of mental health conditions or exacerbations such as depression or anxiety disorders. Lack of control can also impact a person's self-esteem and sense of self-worth. And what I said earlier, that's really quite logical. It can make a person feel powerless and unsure of themselves, leading to feelings of inadequacy, low self-confidence, and just this awful feeling that I'm not good enough somehow, I'm failing. In some cases, a person may respond to a lack of control by engaging in behaviours that may provide temporary relief, such as a lot of substance abuse, overeating, and we did an episode last week about emotional eating, or even other negative coping mechanisms. So these behaviours can lead to a cycle of negative consequences and then further the feelings of helplessness and then the lack of control. Now, from a parenting perspective, a lack of control and safety can have significant impacts on a young children's mental and emotional development. Now remember, every time we talk from a parenting perspective, there's no judgment from you. It's just about understanding the bigger picture, and it can help with motivation, but really no judgment, no criticism, okay? Always. Children who experience a lack of control or safety may feel more anxious, more insecure, and uncertain, which can impact their ability to learn, form relationships, and even develop a healthy sense of self. So when children experience a lack of control or a lack of routine or lack of predictability, they may feel powerless and unable to influence their environment. So this can lead to feelings of frustration, anger, and helplessness. And because they're little, children may struggle to regulate their own emotions and behaviours. So this is leading to outbursts and then other challenging behaviours. And it's difficult because as a mother or a parent or caregiver, if I'm out of control and I can't look after myself or soothe myself or make me feel better, when my child does that, it's literally impossible for me to do that for them as well. So then it's just then this exacerbated hamster cycle. They lose their biscuits. I then lose my biscuits. They then lose their biscuits worse and feel bad. And then I just feel absolutely awful, but I'm still angry and frustrated. That's like a really basic cycle. So a lack of safety can also impact the child's development. Children who do not feel safe may struggle to form healthy attachments with caregivers or peers. They may even have difficulty trusting others and may be more likely to withdraw or isolate themselves. So obviously these are extreme examples. This can impact their ability to respond to a lack of control and safety, and sometimes engaging in negative behaviours such as aggression or self-harm. Okay, we always need to remember that anger is healthy and normal, aggression is too far. So it's really important to note that these behaviours are often a result of underlying emotional or psychological distress. It's not a choice, it's an uncomfortable distress. And it should be addressed with sensitivity and understanding, because you can't go at a child who's upset and angry with more upset and angry. If you're able to then calm yourself and then try and go in with sensitivity and understanding the best way that you can, it makes a huge difference, and then it creates a sense of safety with everyone, and then connection and belonging. And that's all we really want. So if a child is experiencing a lack of safety or control, it's important to provide a supportive and nurturing environment. So this may involve setting clear boundaries and expectations, creating a sense of routine and predictability, and providing opportunities for the child to make choices themselves, or even you giving them the illusion that they're making their own choices, so that they can feel empowered. So these are the rules in our house. Which one of these options do you want? So, firstly, get back into mum, because mums are the most important part of the family, and especially in terms of this regulation. If we can look after the mums and support her the way that she needs to, she's then able to support her children. So firstly, looking at practical solutions for empowerment for you. So looking at the good habits that we have adapted and continue to use them. Difficulty being if we've never actually adapted any good habits or any healthy coping mechanisms, and the only thing I know is a wine at the end of the day, right? Mine's actually vodka. Supporting our small local businesses when we can, so helping out the vulnerable population who may be struggling. This can be volunteering or donating your time to those in need, slowing down and focusing on what's important in your life. Make yourself a priority. No more rushing women syndrome. So rushing women's syndrome is a tendency of women to constantly rush through their daily lives, trying to do too much in too little time, often at the expense of their health and well-being. It's caused by chronic stress and then can lead to physical and emotional symptoms like fatigue, irritability, anxiety, and weight gain. So to overcome it, women can prioritize self-care, practice stress-reducing activities, and even seek counselling or therapy to speak to normalize. And even if you don't have these strategies, your therapist can, okay? Learning to respect other people's opinions, having compassion instead of judgment, and then continue new routines. So a new routine could be a quick, short afternoon walk in the sun, or even some phone calls or texts in the afternoon. Just a quick little phone call, just to connect, to know that I'm not alone, I'm having a bad day, right? I'm about to put them up on Etsy. So daily exercise does a huge shift in your mental health. So how can I start doing these little things? And I know it's really difficult with kids because it's always about them. So then even incorporating them in it. The TV, putting on a YouTube clip with kids exercise, or kids and mums meditation, or kids and mums yoga, and then we can all do it together. And at least if they don't want to participate, you can still continue. So secondly, we can take happiness into our own hands. So it's easier said than done, right? Well, according to positive psychology, achieving well-being and happiness can be as easy as following their 5-step formula. So number 1 is positive emotion. Learning to appreciate what you have and being grateful and thankful for the little things in your life every day. And when you can do this, it actually then reduces resentment. Number 2, engagement. Participating in activities that show your strengths. So this then increases your confidence and self-belief. Little tweaks. Number 3 is relationships. So especially as women, we are social beings. So doing something unexpected and kind for others will instantly increase your well-being. Number 4, meaning. So finding something in your life or work that is worthwhile and finding purpose. For some people, this is really difficult because they go through their life and they still don't know what they want to do, what their perfect job is. So how can we then make you get a new sense of purpose so that you feel happy and comfortable within yourself? Number 5 is accomplishments. So setting achievable goals. So when you achieve these goals, you're able to celebrate your success and actually acknowledge how much I did today. Without that criticism, I should have done more, or I didn't. No. Acknowledge and celebrate what you actually did. And if it's just getting out of bed in the morning and getting the kids off to school, that is a huge, huge achievement. So there is so much evidence to support this formula. So it could be really interesting to have a look in. So Google positive psychology. They call it the 5 pillars, to be honest. Now, thirdly, psychological traps to avoid, right? So how many of these do I have? Okay, learned helplessness. So learned helplessness is when you believe that you have no control over what happens in your life. That's that ultimate no control, no predictability, no safety, right? So this can actually begin in childhood. So when we have learned helplessness, we need to learn to replace this with learned optimism, where satisfaction in life can be grown if you can practice it every single day. And your minds are just like a computer and how we can program them. The technical term for that is neuroplasticity. Learned optimism is a concept developed by the psychologist Martin Seligman which then suggests that people can learn to be more optimistic and resilient by changing their thought patterns. It involves challenging negative thought patterns, so these can also be intrusive thoughts. Next thing you know, you're walking down the street and bam, it's an intrusive thought straight up in your face. It can also be reframing negative events into a more positive light. So techniques for developing learned optimism include cognitive restructuring, right? That's that whole restructuring, neuroplasticity. Positive self-talk. So every time you talk negatively about it, talk positive or say something nice. And mindfulness and meditation. Mindfulness and meditation can be very difficult if we're not regulated and if we're full of anxiety. It can almost feel impossible, and now I feel like a failure. So the benefits of learned optimism obviously include improved mental health, improved physical health, you have higher self-esteem and greater success in achieving personal goals. So why wouldn't I want that? Why can't I work towards that? This is easy, right? Reflecting on your locus of control. So I'm elaborating on the learned helplessness and learned optimism. So locus, L-O-C-U-S, locus of control refers to the extent to which a person believes they can have control over the events affecting their lives. So if you have an internal locus of control pointing to your chest, it refers to the belief that one's own actions and decisions are primary determinants of my own life's outcome. So if I have an internal locus of control, I believe that things happen because I make them happen, because I'm determined, because I'm diligent, because I make positive choices, okay? But if you have an that's while all pointing to your chest, but while you have an external locus of control pointing outward, an external locus of control pointing out refers to the belief that external factors such as luck or other people are the primary determinants of one's life outcomes. So I'm getting a frog in my throat. So people with internal locus of control, touch your chest, tend to be more proactive and self-motivated, while those with external locus of control, point away, may be more likely to feeling helplessness and powerlessness because I don't have control, I don't have a predictability, I have really bad luck. I'm always at the wrong place at the wrong time. Good things never happen to me, you know. So locus of control can change over time based on a person's experiences and beliefs. So there's also another little tweak to this of self-fulfilling prophecy. Self-fulfilling prophecy is phenomenal, right? This is the result of being told what you deserve or who you are too many times, over and over and over and over again. And because you've been told so many times, you believe it. So then you become it. So as an adult, if you can use the theory of self-fulfilling prophecy, if you can tell yourself daily about your strengths, tell yourself that you are worthwhile, be compassionate to yourself when you don't do as well as what you expected, and then think of it as talking to yourself as you would your best friend who is feeling down on themselves, right? Self-fulfilling prophecy, whatever you tell yourself over and over again becomes your reality. Okay, number 4, mums. Logistical strategies such as creating a routine. So even though it can be difficult with routines, even if you have a skeleton routine, okay? If you can establish a daily routine, it can give a sense of predictability and stability, especially for you and your kids, which can then help reduce feelings of chaos and uncertainty. It can then, if you're able to, set achievable goals. So not crazy over the top, I'm going to, build a house today. Achievable goals. I'm going to wake up, nailed it. I'm going to get the kids to bed, nailed it, right? Identify small achievable goals and then work towards them. This can help create a sense of purpose and accomplishment, and then provide motivation to take further action. And this is good because, especially with your kids, they learn by watching. They don't always learn by what you tell them. And every mum knows, like yelling at your kids and telling them what to do. But if they see you doing it, that's what they're then more likely to be. Okay. So remember, gaining a sense of control can take time and effort. So it's really important to approach the process with patience and self-compassion. So you're never going to get everything good the first time. Give yourself some patience. By taking small steps towards regaining control, a person can begin to feel more empowered and less overwhelmed by external stresses, the people around us, or things that are happening. Sorry, excuse me. You are not alone. Finding your tribe, if you can feel like you are struggling, talk to a counsellor or find someone that you feel safe with. A lack of control can make us feel overwhelmed and then we shut down. So we need to learn inspiration to motivate yourselves to make a change. Take your life back with positive choices. We're all in this together. So thank you so much for your time. I hope you enjoyed it and have a lovely day. Bye. If you're hearing this message, you've listened to the entire podcast, and for that, I would like to thank you for your support. So you can find me on Instagram or Facebook at supportivetherapy_, and then you can find heaps of free resources online at www.supportivetherapy.com.au. So if today you did find my information useful, please leave a review and subscribe. By leaving a review, it's a value exchange. It's good karma. So I value your support just as much as you value my free information. And if you liked it, other mums can like it as well, hopefully, and then it can hopefully start a huge movement of people valuing mothers the way that they need to be valued. So please feel free to let me know what topics you would like to see in future episodes. Always feel free to get in touch with me in the comments. Otherwise, follow me on Supportive Therapy social media networks. Thank you so much for your time and have a wonderful day, you beautiful mum.